Legs crossed, back straight, eyes closed. Breathing in through our noses and out through our mouths. Deep, long breaths. Feel that power of you controlling your breathing. Feel that power of you keeping your back straight and your eyes closed, even if it's uncomfortable, even if it's slightly painful. Good morning, guys. I want to share with you an example today of just how powerful our minds are. I want you to think of this example today because it's helped me so much. If a doctor told you that in order for you to live the next month or so, you would have to get up early every single day and work on yourself, work on your mind development, work on your personal growth and development, you would do it. Because that's the power of a made-up mind. There is nothing in this universe more powerful than a mind that has made the determination, the decision. They have determined that they are going to be successful, be happy, be free, be the most positive force they can be, no matter what. There's nothing more powerful in the universe, and you have it. So let's remember it each and every day. Have a great day, everybody.
Fear is projecting what you believe to be the outcome in front of you and then feeling the energy right now. And so with that, I like to invite you to project the possibility that it can come true. It may take longer, it may cost more, it may, require that you let go of some people, but that it can come true. As well as looking forward to realistic things as well. I don't expect to go from $10,000 to 10 million. I don't even expect to go from 10,000 to a million, but I can require that I go from 10,000 to 25. I set all my goals that way. I still have the sight of a million or 10 or whatever that is, touching those many people. But I give myself incremental bites so that I can get it done. Now, when you talk about validating your fears or dismantling your fears, what needs to take place? Application. What needs to take place in order for you to stay in action? Look at what strategy needs to take place. Here's what I love. I love that there's a projection and then there's an actual. There's always that. You think you know what's going to happen when you're going to the movies. You think how a movie's going to turn out. You think how it's going to be when you go out to dinner. You have an idea what it's going to be like at an amusement park. And then all of those projections are replaced with actuals. Once you do it, you go, oh, here's how it was. It was better than I thought. It was amazing. Or no, it was not all that. Whatever. You've replaced the projection with the actual. So here's the other thing. When you're managing fears and when you're climbing over fears, you want to look for action so you can replace the projection with the actual. Because if you don't replace the projection with the actuals, you're always sitting back going, okay, what could have happened? Here's what I think would have happened. But you never really know.
The fastest way to figure out what to do next is to model success. Model success. Whenever you don't know what to do, model success. What that does is when you can find somebody who's done the thing that you want to do, right? Like think about what are your goals? What do you want to accomplish? What do you want to do in life, right? In life, in business, what do you want to do? What do you want to accomplish? Where do you want to go? Find people who've done it. And the key thing is don't look at what they're doing right now, because that's not going to be very helpful for you. Instead, what we want to do is look at what did they do when they started? How did they go from 0 to 1? How did they get their thing off the ground? Because it does it does two key things. It gives you hope that it's possible. Whenever you look at your heroes, mentors, people who've done amazing things, we often feel when we look at our goals that it's not possible. Like, has that happened to you? You look at your goals, your big goals, not your little ones, but the big goals. Like, that's not possible. I can't do that. Sometimes you feel like you can, and it's inspiring. It's like, yes, I can't wait to do that. And other times it feels like the big goal is too big, and you're never going to be able to do that, right? Does that sound familiar? So then when you're able to see people who have done it, it gives you the hope, the motivation, the inspiration that you can do it too. And if you look at their story, you'll see that they probably started with less than what you already have right now. Chances are your heroes, they started with less than what you already have right now. And if they could do it, why can't you? Because of the story that you're telling yourself. And so being around those stories, being around those people, even if it's from books and videos and podcasts, right? Being around that makes you realize, holy cow, this is possible. The second thing it does is it gives you strategies. It's like, well, what did they do? Not just a motivation to act, but what specifically to do? How did they do it? How did they get started? This is what saved my business. Bill Gates, I like to say, he saved my business. I haven't met Bill Gates yet, but he saved my business because I had a software company and I quit on my business partner. I didn't know what to do. I didn't know what to do next. I was making no money. I'm making $300 a month. I'm struggling. I'm suffering. I'm trying. I'm working hard every day. And I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do. Help me, please. I tried everything that I could think of, and nothing seemed to be working. And I was tired of being broke, and tired of being tired, and tired of not having results, and tired of not having success. I was beaten down. I was tired. I had to find a different way. And so I quit on my business partner, which was the worst day of my life. And then I woke up the next day and said, I can't quit yet, because if I do, I'm going to regret it. But I can't keep going the way that I'm going. I have to find a different way to stand. And so I said, you know what? Somebody's figured this out. Somebody's figured this out. Somebody had to figure this out. Who's figured this out? Who's built a software company? And the first person I could think of was Bill Gates and Microsoft. It wasn't that I spent a ton of time researching and understanding. It's just, I was desperate, I was hopeless, I was lost, and I just thought, Bill Gates, Microsoft. And so I looked at, how did Bill Gates start Microsoft? 0 to 1, right? How did he get started? How's somebody who's super successful makes an extra $1 million now, or how I might get an extra 1,000 subscribers now? It's not as relevant, it's not as inspiring, it's not as helpful, because there's a lot of momentum that goes into it already. So, but 0 to 1, how did he get started? And I found out that he did it through partnerships. And he found people who was already targeting his target audience, and he partnered with them. Not partnership in terms of they own a part of Microsoft, but they made a deal together. And so Microsoft's big deal came with IBM, where IBM was the biggest computer manufacturer at the time. Every IBM computer shipped had Microsoft software on it. IBM had a new computer, they wanted to get it out to the market. They needed some great software for it, an operating system. Microsoft came along and helped them. And so every IBM shipped had Microsoft software on it. Like, wow, that's great. And that blew up the company. That was like their giant momentum moment. But Microsoft was already a $7 million company, I think, when they made that deal. So how did they go from 0 to 7? Well, same thing, partnerships. Their very first partnership came with a company called MITS. They had this device called the Altair, and it was on the cover of a magazine. And Bill Gates and Paul Allen, his business partner, saw it, and they said, if MITS is going to come up with the Altair, they need software for it. Let's write to them and say that we can do the software. And they said, okay, cool, yeah, come on, I'd love to see your software. Now, this is a little maybe sneakier, underhanded. Bill Gates had not written the software for it yet. He didn't even have his hands on one of the MITS Altairs. He's coding it without having a device and without having it ready. And luckily, by the time he gets to them in the meeting, it actually worked, right? So that's a lot of risk, and that's a lot of staking your reputation, I guess, on yourself and your ability and hoping that it's going to work out. Maybe a little too risky for me, but it was still the concept of partnerships. Who was already targeting my target audience, your target audience? And instead of trying to go after customers one by one, how can you work with somebody who, if they told people about you, it would reach 10 people at a time, or 100 people at a time, or 1,000 people at a time, or 1,000,000 people at a time, right? How could we make that happen? And so I looked to my own business. Like, okay, we sell scientific software. Who else sells scientific, not software, but other products that I can make some kind of partnership with? And the first company that I connected with was in the UK. And I messaged them to say, hey, we've got this company, we've got this software. Do you want to represent us in Europe? And I forget which markets we looked at, but UK and a couple other countries. Do you want to represent us in Europe? Because our software is great, it works, but we, the customer support and language differences and time zone differences, would you like to be our partner in the UK? And they said yes. How do we get started? I was nervous, I was sweating, I was trying to figure out, oh my gosh, I got my first potential deal here. I'm how old? I'm 20 at the time-ish. And I say, okay, there's an upfront commitment of $13,500. They had to pay us $13,500. At the time, I'm making $300 a month. So I guess that's kind of my bold statement or my bold commitment, like Bill Gates. So you got to pay me $13,500 up front. And I remember pressing send on the email and sweating, nervous. I don't want to lose this deal. Finally got somebody at the table, and they said yes. They said yes. Crazy. They said yes, and then the money hit our bank account. Like, oh my gosh, $13,500. This is crazy. It doesn't seem like a lot of money now, but man, I felt like I won the lottery. I felt rich. And more important than just the money was that something worked, momentum, finally, like something, anything was actually having an impact. It's crazy. And I had a strategy that I could apply. I could go after other companies, and that's what I did. I closed more and more deals, more of these partnership deals, all based off of Bill Gates' strategy, right? So again, I haven't met Bill Gates. I haven't told him the story yet, but the way that he built Microsoft became an inspiration for me to build my company, at least in the early days. And it got our company off the ground and starting to get some results. And so whenever you don't know what to do, you model success. You find the person who's done the thing. It gives you hope, it gives you inspiration, and it also gives you specific strategies. Now, it may not fit 100%, right? I had to research Bill Gates. I had to see how he got started. I had to see his first deals. And my deal wasn't exactly the same deal that he signed, but it's close enough. And all I really needed was the idea, was a strategy to get started. And it saved my company, it saved my business. I mean, I don't know, if I didn't do that, I might have some job right now that I hate. Honestly, like I just quit on my business partner. I was afraid I was gonna live in regret of not knowing. And I was just lost, guys. I was just lost. But I knew that if I stopped now, that I would look back on that moment and say, what if I just kept going? And if I didn't find that strategy, I don't know what I would have done. Honestly, probably at some job that I hate. It's crazy how these little shifts, little moments can make such a giant difference in your life. And so hopefully this video can help inspire a little moment for you. So if you surround yourself with your heroes, you look at the people who are doing the thing that you want to do, and be around them more and study their success, it gives you the hope and the motivation that it's possible. And hopefully it also gives you the specific strategies on what you can do so you can accomplish your goals as well. The fastest way to build your business, to get the right ideas to grow, is to model success.
Also, to make sure you're actually taking action after watching this video, I've designed a special free worksheet just for this video. The worksheet will highlight all of the lessons learned in this video, as well as pull out our 3 favorite learnings and quotes that will inspire you to actually do something. The worksheet will also give you space to write down what your key takeaways are and your specific plan of action to make sure you're getting results. If you want the worksheet designed specifically for this video, absolutely for free, there's a link in the description below. Go click on it and start building the momentum in your life and your business. I'll see you there.
Good morning, everyone. In our top 10 rules for success today, Jack Ma shares with us rule number 9 for him, which is don't complain, look for opportunities. And this one is one we can apply to everything we think. So that's the challenge for us. Jack Ma has been successful because he has looked for opportunities. He has been relentless. He has not allowed excuses or negative things to stop him. So let's learn from him. Let's learn from each other. Let's learn from anything great we've ever done. You have done it because you saw it as an opportunity. So today, as you go through your day, really fight hard to look at your mind and your thoughts. If a situation comes up and immediately you feel that negative thought coming in, look for the opportunity in it, because in those negative moments, in those things that we don't like, there's an opportunity. It's the change of thought. Have a great day, everybody.
People think I have knowledge. No, my head is empty. That's why to make look little substantial, I have a turban. It's totally empty always. But I have clarity. Clarity means what? You see things the way they are. Knowledge means what? You have fixed information about everything. If things have changed, you will not see it the way it is. That's as good as being blind. See, people think owls are blind. It's not true. Their vision is far more sensitive than yours. But because of sunlight, they're blinded because it's too much. When light goes down, he sees very clearly. Not because he's blind, because his eyes are super sensitive. So, it's important that you bring clarity to your life, not knowledge, because knowledge is conclusions that you gather. Knowledge is okay when you're trying to do something physical, material in the world, but not with life.
Need motivation?
Watch a Top 10 on Believe Nation.
Hey, it's Evan Carmichael, and I make these videos because you are probably the most ambitious person in your circle, but you know you're capable of more, and you get that push by surrounding yourself with the best. So today, let's learn from one of the best, Sadhguru, and my take on his top 10 rules of success. Enjoy.
Is it true what you thought was absolute at the age of 12, today is not true? Yes or no? Are you sure that whatever you think is this is it right now, will be this is it in another 3 years' time?
Of course not.
You know that, so you know you're wrong. Yes or no?
Yes.
So you know anyway you're wrong, so why assert the wrong things? Well, right now we are wrong, at least let's manage with little more conscious. If you know you're wrong, you will walk carefully, isn't it? Hello? But you think you're absolutely correct, then you will do stupid things and you blunder around the world. If you know you're not seeing properly, will you walk carefully or no? If I ask you to walk through a dark room, suppose we turn off all the lights and close it down, everything, pitch dark, if I ask you to walk, suddenly will you become super alert and conscious as to how you walk? But when the lights are on, you're just going unconsciously bumping into everybody. So if you learn to walk every moment like there are no lights and you're looking at everything absolutely carefully, then what you see clearly, you go through it, what you don't see clearly, you hesitate, some places you take a little bit of chance. But if you are just confident, you will blunder through life, we don't know where you will get in and what you will get trapped into. Most people are trapped into their professions, their family situations, their social situations in such a way, they all became like this. Yes, already I'm seeing, not just older people, youth have become like this. What will happen to me at the end of my life? What will happen to me at the end of my life? I already revealed the secret, you will die. But Sadhguru, if this happens, what to do? If that happens, what to do? All those things will happen. It's not that everything will happen in your life the way you like it, things will happen in the way you don't like it. It once happened, Shankaran Pillai got fired from his job simply because he asked a question, smoking or not smoke, non-smoking. How can you get fired for asking such a simple question? Smoking or non-smoking, he asked, and he got fired. Because what he was supposed to ask was cremation or burial. So, many times what you do, thinking I'm right, may be irrelevant to the situation in which you exist. So the most important aspect of your life is you're relevant, not right. You're just relevant. To the existing situation, you're relevant. I am right, I am right, I am right. This is confidence. You being right, nobody cares. All the idiots who think they're right, nobody wants to listen to them, nobody wants to be around them, isn't it? People who always think, I'm right, you want to be around them? No, the important thing is you're relevant to the situation in which you exist. If you have to bring relevance into your life, you must extinguish your confidence and bring clarity.
Rule number 2, be a full-fledged human.
You should not be a motivated person. Generally, when we say somebody is motivated, it means they have an agenda of their own. Life has no agenda. It's for you to be a full-fledged life. A grasshopper is trying to be a full-fledged grasshopper, earthworm is trying to be a full-fledged earthworm, a bird is trying to be a full-fledged bird, a tree is trying to be a full-fledged tree. A human being should strive to become a full-fledged human being. This is all our business is. But each one of us start creating our own agendas and doing all kinds of things. No, you're just a piece of life, don't take yourself too seriously. Because before you and me, countless number of people have come and gone. Yes or no? Where are they? All those people. You think they were all idiots? They were all idiots and they died, is it? No, they were also like you, maybe they were also officers, maybe they were kings more than you, all kinds of things, all topsoil now. This will also become topsoil. Just a little bit of time. Life is a bit of a sparkle. How old is your son, sir? 25. So 27 years ago, where was he, sir? So if somebody is not here, we say they're dead, isn't it? 27 years ago, he was dead. We will give him 100 years, sir. 80 years later, he will be again dead. Yes or no? Yes. So, 27 years ago, how long was he dead, sir? Huh? Long time. So, 85 years later or 80 years later, how long will he be dead, sir? Very long time. So all of us will be dead for a very long time. We're alive just for a brief amount of time. Yes, very brief amount of time. We will be dead for a very long time. I want you to look at it in this perspective. How long will you be dead? You can't imagine. So let us say 10,000 years we are dead, or 100,000 years we are dead, or 1,000,000 years we are dead, all right? How long are you alive compared to that? Very, very brief. What you call as life is a brief sparkle. The only thing that you have to do is rise and sparkle as a full-fledged life. When something is needed around us, we will do that naturally, because when you're doing wonderfully well, you will do what is needed, isn't it? When you're miserable, you will be motivated. Yes? Tell me, when you're very happy, have you looked at yourself? How nice and wonderful you are, you're willing to do anything for anybody, bend backwards if necessary, yes or no? When you're little frustrated, ooh, how difficult it is. So don't teach your children to become motivated about something. These are all nonsense that's coming from the West, all those trashy self-help books. Motivate yourself, build confidence, believe in yourself. You believed in God and destroyed so much of this world. Now you believe in yourself, what will you do?
Rule number 3, learn to be alone.
When Gautama, the Buddha, was asked, is it better to walk alone or in company. He said, it's better to walk alone than to walk with a fool. Well, that's him, not me. He was quite sure that only a fool will walk with you. So he said, it's better to walk alone than to walk with a fool. Certain lore in this country says, when you want to do a short and quick journey, walk alone. When you want to do a long journey, walk in company. But the important thing is, who is walking with you? Not always being together is a good thing. Many times, being together can be a nuisance. So, first and foremost, unless you are a twin, even then, we come alone and we go alone. If one does not know how to be by himself or herself, then being together can be a lot of nuisance. We are referred to as human beings. Human beings means every other creature is what it is simply because of what it does. But a human being can simply be, which is a unique quality of the human being, that we can simply be, that we are not compulsive action, that's what it means. Our action is conscious and judicious. But generally, when people get together, generally, people are in compulsive action. It can be an association where there could be a purposeful action, or it can be a gang where there can be more purposeful action, or it can be a crowd which can be a compulsive action. So essentially, to be human means we have reached that point of evolution within ourselves that if we wish, we can simply sit here, just be. We can consider as to what action to take and what not to take. This is definitely individual. When individuals come together, we say, it's we in plural, but still it is individuals who have to come together. To be an individual means you are not further divisible. That means you're just one. People find different ways to divide themselves within themselves. In India, with 10,000 years of cultural history, we have invented various words to divide ourselves. It's very common for people to talk in terms of Atma, Paramatma, Ahankara, this one and that one. But every culture has this in their own way. When things are going right, when good things are being done, if you ask people, they say, yes, I did it. When things don't go right, when things go wrong, then they will try to find somebody. If they don't find anybody, he is always there. When they are very wonderful, of course they take pride in being how wonderful they are. When they turn nasty, they say, it was my ego. Mr. Ego is always a fall guy. So individual means, but if I'm wonderful, it's me. If I'm nasty, it's me, all of you. Are you 24 hours wonderful? Hello? Are you 24 hours wonderful? No, sometimes wonderful, sometimes nasty, sometimes beautiful, sometimes ugly. It's okay. If we understand, it is me who is capable of being absolutely wonderful and it is me who is capable of being absolutely nasty another moment, then gradually the number of moments of nastiness will keep on receding. If I see what is wonderful is me, what is nasty is… In India we have many words, it's my karma, what can I do? Now, you must fix this. Being an individual is very important, that means you're not further divisible. If I'm wonderful, it's me, if I'm nasty, it's me. If I succeed, it's me, if I fail, it's me. You have to fix this.
Rule number 4, do what you want.
Good morning, everybody. I want to borrow again from Les Brown just to show the power, as Ron, our growth to infinite mind wealth, of being relentless and determined and having that no matter what spirit. I remember Les Brown in one of his videos sharing a time when he was asked to speak in front of a large audience and he was so nervous. This is when he was just getting started, but the gentleman challenged him to get up there anyway. And of course they booed him, they laughed at him, they heckled him, they made him feel like the smallest thing in the world. But he said after a while, he just kept on getting back up there and he got so good. This made me laugh because I thought this is the power of determination. He got so good at just delivering a speech no matter what, because he knew he'd get better, that he would be catching things as they were throwing them. They were trying to do whatever it took to get him off that stage, but he just kept going. And that was a funny example, and I remember it when I get nervous, if I ever get nervous. So hope it helps you. Have a great day.
We have such interesting macro theses in our society that are crippling people, and the reason there's so much anxiety in the system now is we're all living our lives in public forums and now taking on more judgment, not less. I don't hear any of you. Let me say it one more time. How many people here with my content and they love it? Let me hear you. Can't hear you. Can't hear you. Let me say it one more time. For all the people here who think I can walk on water, I'm the best, I'm such a great dude, I can't fucking hear you. Let me explain to you why I can't hear you. Because I have no interest on getting high on my own supply. The reason I can't hear you is the same reason that I can't hear the person that leaves a comment that says I'm a snake oil salesman, or my cursing is inappropriate, or I'm gonna burn out, or whatever else. I can't hear that face either. And when, over the next 50 years of my life, I figure out how to produce more communications to help you not hear it either, that is when I will start having more significant impact. Because when you don't hear anything, I mean from your dad, I mean from your spouse, when you stop hearing things, gets remarkable.
Need motivation?
Watch a top 10 with Believe Nation.
Hey, it's Evan Carmichael, and I make these videos because you are probably the most ambitious person in your circle.
But you know you're capable of more. And you get that push by surrounding yourself with the best.
So today let's learn from one of the best, Gary Vee, and my take on his top 10 rules of success. Enjoy. Rule number 2, take accountability.
I think the lack of accountability is leading to so much unhappiness. Like, life is so much better when you're like, this was my fault.
Yeah, absolutely.
You're in control.
Yeah.
And so, like, you know, this was like a wrap up to control. You're in control. You decide what you consume. You decide what you believe. You decide who you surround yourself with. You decide what you put out. Take on accountability.
Yeah.
Everybody wants to blame right now. The algorithm, they're acting as the algorithms are like hypnosis. And I understand endorphin hits and all that, but like, you can delete the app. You can. Like, where's accountability in this?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Like, we have alcohol, we have tobacco, we have drugs, we have weapons, and we have all sorts of issues, but most people play within moderation. That's on you.
Yeah. And it's a tough truth, right? It's a tough
truth.
It's a tough truth.
Especially when you're unhappy.
Yeah.
That goes back to why it's important. It's like the chicken and egg. It's like working out. Like, I got into better shape the last 8 years. Nothing comes less natural to me.
Yeah, tell me.
Nothing comes less natural to me.
I can relate to you.
Right?
Yeah.
But like, I was like, I just would like to live longer.
Yes.
I would just like to live longer.
Yeah.
And go figure. It's not apple cider gummies. It's not steroids. It's not implants. I've thought about it. I'm like, can I get chest implants? I put in a lot of work. I feel like I've like, Seth's good. Like, I feel like I've done more than Seth, but like my body type, like, you know, and I'm like, I probably haven't, but no, it's like eat well, go in the gym, do the right things. And so same for life, you know, whether it's meditation, whether it's exercise, whether it's therapy, whether it's good conversations, whether it's surrounding, you know, back to us not having the serendipity, you know, we've had some meals, we've had some interactions. They're always like, they're nice.
We need more.
I would like that.
Yeah,
and
like
we'll
that
build
too.
on that. I think, you know, I'm spending more time thinking about spending more time with more while doubling down on core, you know? You know, because I did a really good job in the last 10 years of doubling down on core, but I think being as busy and I love what I do, you know, I really do want to build out more of a friend network. I want to take more people from lightweight acquaintance to solid acquaintance. I want to take people from acquaintance to friend, from friend to best friend. And so I'm on a journey like everybody else, but I think that, I think, believe it or not, and this is going to sound so crazy for so many, the world actually has so much potential for everybody listening to be the best time to be alive. Medicine and technology, and there's so much, but we're caught right now. It's like a hamster wheel. We're in the momentum of focusing on, you know, the bad.
Yeah.
And there's always bad.
Yeah.
The Holocaust was bad. Genocide is always going on. Genghis Khan was not a fun time to be a human.
Yeah.
Like, you know, like we are very bad at history. I was a really bad student, but I did well in history. Like, but that starts with you. What are you going to do about it? Because right now everyone's like pointing and feels like it's on someone else.
Yeah.
It starts with ourselves.
I mean, when you said that and you brought up the Holocaust, I recently read Edith Eger's book, The Gift. She lived through the Holocaust. And she had that mindset in the Holocaust. So she said the only way she got through it is she realized that she wasn't a prisoner, that the only prisoners were the guards because they were prisoners of their own conscience.
Unbelievable.
That was her mindset.
She's right.
And you know, she's like over 90 now or even older. And it's like, it's just phenomenal that her, Viktor Frankl, who wrote Man's Search for Meaning, these two phenomenal books, if anyone hasn't read them, like they had that in that scenario.
Well, that's the point I always make to everybody. Like, you know, the only thing that works for me is trying to contextualize moments in time.
Yeah.
And like, you know, our great-great-great-grandparents had it rough by comparison to the way we have it. And sure, they had some things that were better on simplicity, but we must choose optimism because what's the alternative? Pessimism? Like, are you just going to decide? Because once you decide, where are you? Once you decide it's bad, it's actually bad. And so like, one of the things that makes me very passionate to communicate is practical optimism, or the fact that I believe negativity is much better at marketing than positivity.
Oh, for sure.
I feel a huge sense of responsibility.
Rule number 3, never get tired.
How in the world can a human being be tired of admiration? Like, it's too humbling. I live a life where people think it's cool to take a picture with me. That's ludicrous. That's incredible. I will never figure out how not to lean into my humility. But that humility comes from a mindset that starts with deep self-esteem and deep understanding that other people's judgments actually have zero impact on your life. And I get to be the byproduct of tremendous parenting to have that mindset. Not everybody had that. My father didn't. I know how my grandmother raised him, and I watch how his actions go based on that. So I stand here, Orlando, today with deep gratitude for the way I was built. When I hear the accolades, when those cheers come, it's so easy for me to default into you're cheering me as a byproduct of a whole lot of great circumstances, a whole lot of good parenting, which doesn't allow me to get high or ever have an ego of not the humility. I'm the byproduct. I am desperate to figure out how to put sentences together to get you to understand how much that's the game. The reason I'm not interested in talking about becoming a millionaire is because I know thousands of millionaires who are miserable as What I'm interested in is trying to figure out how to get you to understand why it's so fun for me to play in the dirt. What I'm interested in is, why does this work for me? Why did it work for me? Why does it work for other people that I see? Right. Because most people have no interest in putting in the deep hours of work required to actually be successful.
Rule number 4, don't judge yourself.
There's a really dirty secret in the strategy world of like Bain and McKinsey, where if you really get them drunk, they admit that the actions lead to the strategy, not the other way around. That's my answer to you. How? I make decisions. And then I try to look at my calendar the week ahead and see if any of the decisions I made 4 weeks earlier that made me think this was a good use of time. Am I able to move something, cut something down? I'm extremely thoughtful about cutting times of meetings. So one of the things I think that really make me successful is understanding a 7-minute meeting is real and not just making it a 30-minute meeting. But the real reason is because I don't overthink it. I'm operating my business, I'm in it. How do I decide between going to dinner with Kevin Hart because I can and I want to build top of the funnel brand, or do I go take a mid-level client that I'm trying to build a relationship with? It's, you ask every normal person, it seems like those aren't super close, but I can touch the pulse and be like, I'm going to LA 4 more times in the next 3 months. The biggest mistakes I make are the ones of missed opportunities of the things by being crippled by opportunity. When you actually level that all up, my friend, it really is liberating. You will never even come close to making the right decision. I mean it. You just don't know what the alternative would be. People think that there's a right answer. You as an operator of your business, make the right call that feels right at that moment and just move. And people spend all this time and money on trying to think that there's a proper answer. I play on the extremes. I spend as much time as possible on the things that are showing me the most offense, right? However you're doing your customer acquisition to get to a hundo on a product like that, like whether it's Facebook, whether it's brand, and then I spend the amount of time on my biggest vulnerability. Putting my finger in the holes to make sure the boat doesn't sink and building a bigger boat and nothing in the middle. And knowing that I'm making that judgment at all times, and the second I get new data a week later, I might have to completely change what I thought was right the week before. It's also why I spend a ton of time with my employees. The reason I'm an HR-driven CEO is if you really understand this, both your biggest growth and your biggest vulnerabilities are actually your own team. So I think it's it starts with the ability not to overjudge yourself, because that is the liberator of the model I just broke down for you.
Also, to make sure you're actually taking action after watching this video, I've designed a special free worksheet just for this video. The worksheet will highlight all of the lessons learned in this video, as well as pull out our 3 favorite learnings and quotes that will inspire you to actually do something. The worksheet will also give you space to write down what your key takeaways are and your specific plan of action to make sure you're getting results. If you want the worksheet designed specifically for this video, absolutely for free, there's a link in the description below. Go click on it and start building the momentum in your life and your business. I'll see you there.
Rule number 5, be in control of your life.
And here we are again, ending the way we begun today together. Knowing the truth, though, that nothing ever ends, nothing is ever over. Determination is never over, never done. Because we are an energy. We are one energy. the way we take control of our breathing in this moment, the way we did our best today on all the exercises and stretches we did, that's the same way, same process we can use to make the best decisions. No, not decisions, determinations. Positive choices, loving choices, peaceful, grateful, mind healthy, mind wealthy choices, determinations. We don't choose and lose, we determine and win. Just like